A minister's defiance amidst economic pressure. Transport Minister Patrick Schnieder rejects populist measures, opting for structural reform over short-term relief. The political landscape is defined by a stark divergence between public demand for immediate cost containment and a ministerial strategy prioritizing long-term market integrity.
Transport Minister Patrick Schnieder CTE has categorically dismissed 3 high-profile interventions: the return of the Euro 9 ticket, the implementation of fuel price caps, and the introduction of a federal motorway speed limit. This stance, articulated to the Funk Media Group, positions the existing Euro 63 Deutschland ticket as the cornerstone of a sustainable, decade-long public transport policy funded through 2030.
The rejection of these measures underscores a calculated political risk, betting that structural affordability will outweigh the allure of temporary subsidies in the public's calculus.
Ideological fault lines in mobility policy. The debate exposes a fundamental conflict between market liberal principles and interventionist crisis management. Schnieder's rationale is deeply rooted in order-liberal economic doctrine, which views uniform price caps as a distortionary market intervention permissible only in extreme emergencies.
His specific rebuttal of Finance Minister Lars Klingbeil's proposal modelled on Luxembourg's system frames it as an anti-competitive measure that would stifle price dynamics. Concurrently, the defence of the Deutschland ticket represents a strategic pivot from a one-off stimulus tool to a permanent, nationwide mobility infrastructure.
This creates a clear policy dichotomy: a subsidized, predictable public transport option versus a deliberately unregulated private vehicle market where price signals and individual responsibility are intended to dictate behavior.
The Deutschland ticket as a strategic anchor. This Euro 63 monthly pass is not merely a product but a multi-year lever for systemic behavioral change. The minister's unwavering commitment to the Deutschland ticket transforms it from a fare into a core instrument of transport policy.
Its nationwide validity and price point, explicitly contrasted with more expensive regional passes, are designed to incentivize mass adoption and provide long-term budget certainty for users. By securing funding to 2030, the government aims to create a stable planning horizon for regional authorities, compelling them to integrate the ticket into their local systems.
This long-term strategy seeks to gradually reshape commuting patterns, reducing reliance on private vehicles not through punitive measures like speed limits but through the persistent economic advantage of a simplified, subsidized public alternative.
A calculated bet on enduring reform. Schnieder's stance risks short-term backlash but seeks to entrench a market-conforming mobility framework. The strategic verdict is one of high-stakes consolidation.
The minister is betting that the public acceptance of the Euro 63 Deutschland ticket will grow as its permanence becomes apparent, ultimately justifying the rejection of more radical, market-intervening tools. The immediate risk is a perceived lack of empathy during a cost-of-living crisis, potentially ceding political ground to proponents of caps and limits.
However, the projected consequence is the institutionalization of a two-tier system, a planned subsidized public transport corridor and a competitive regulation-light private vehicle sector. The critical next step will be the aggressive promotion and regional adoption of the Deutschland ticket. Its failure to gain traction would undermine the entire ideological foundation of this defensive policy posture.